as scary as the thought of that is, I almost think it's even scarier to think of what a potential Kamala Harris presidency could look like, because let's face facts, there is a greater than zero chance that she will at some point over the next 4 years be the president of the United States, which is just mind-bogglingly terrifying. And this recently came to light. Biden and Harris gave a sit-down, as puff piece of a sit-down interview, as you can imagine, with CNN's Jake Tapper last night. And we have a clip to show you of a joke in poor taste from Joe Biden. But it does get the gears turning about what the future of America could look like.
But all kidding aside,
the first lady to be told me she holds them for you.
Yes, she does. But not with she and Kamala have become friends.
Yeah.
But all kidding aside, it's a matter of the thing. We are simpatico on our philosophy of government and simpatico on how we want to approach these issues that we're facing. And so I don't have, and when we disagree, it'll be just like, so far it's been just like when Barack and I did. It's in private. She'll say, I think we should do A, B, C, or D. And I'll say, I like A, don't like B and C. And let's go, okay. And like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign. We don't have that. We haven't, and we discussed at length our views on foreign policy, on domestic policy, on intelligence. And the great thing is she has a background in the Senate on intelligence, the Intelligence Committee. She has a background in the Senate on a whole range of things that are going to be pertinent to what we have to do. But it's going to be, I think so much is going to be incoming, Jake. Yeah. It's a matter about who takes what when.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Joe Biden himself just sort of joked about, developing a disease. I do want to focus a little bit in on the quote itself. So Biden, when talking about potential differences between him and Kamala, he said, like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign. I'm going to go ahead, as dumb of a joke as I think that is, I am going to give Biden the benefit of the doubt in saying that was a joke. Yep. But nonetheless, like I mentioned earlier, this is not within the realm, or it is well within the realm of possibility that we might be looking at a Kamala Harris presidency. So, Joe, I wanted to ask you, you can pick which one of these you want to tackle, but give me a best case or a worst case scenario of what a potential Harris presidency could look like.
I think that the worst case scenario, look, I've said many times that Harris is a woman with no convictions whatsoever. So she will just go the way the wind blows. She's not personally, I don't think, she's not particularly liberal. She's not particularly conservative. Now, Joe Biden, say what you will about him, I think that he is a man who has some convictions. They're wrong convictions in many ways, but I think he generally has a guiding light. I think he wants to be seen as the elder statesman, person to unite the country. I think he's not going to do it, but he has some convictions. Harris doesn't, right? So worst case scenario, she just gives in to the whatever's popular among the Democrats. If she ever becomes president, even if if it's not right now. If she becomes president, if she runs in 2024, Joe Biden's been very coy about this, but he's probably not going to be running for a second term, and she would be the natural successor as long as there's no big scandals that are up between now and then. So I think the worst case, like I said, is just her following following the tide, and if it's popular within the Democratic Party to have some radical platform, then she will do it. If not, she won't. I mean, you just look at the primaries, right? And Medicare for All, which was a huge issue, and she said that she was for Medicare for All because all the Democrats were jumping on the Medicare for All bandwagon. And she flip-flopped many times on that because she just couldn't figure it out because she kept getting blasted because people said, oh, so you want to get rid of private health insurance? And she was like, well, not exactly. And then the liberals said, so you don't support Medicare for All? And she said, well, I do support Medicare for All.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a moral compass, so she's just going to do whatever's most popular. It's very scary.
I think that what makes that the most concerning scenario, though, is that Kamala Harris's only conviction is power for Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly.
Kamala.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry, Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I think on the other end of that, I think the positive is that I guess let's start with the negative of a Biden administration is that because he is that kind of seen as an elder statesman figure, he's got political capital in Washington. There's no question about it. He's got plenty of ties to the Republican Party. He's just got the establishment folks run deep in Washington. The swamp runs deep. So he has got everything he needs to kind of get, maybe a little bit more moderate of a platform done for the Democrats. But he's going to accomplish some things in that first 2 years, especially if he gains the Senate majority in Georgia. I think the best case scenario of if Kamala Harris were to somehow kind of come into a role where she is in, that chief seat, is that there is nothing that would unite the conservatives more. I agree with you that I think she has no conviction other than power, but I think that conservatives have been very, very good at saying she is the radical progressive.
Yeah.
And there are even certain, special interests who have, statistically in any way that you can make tangible a person's values on a numerical scale, she has been rated the most progressive senator in the U.S. Senate. Yeah. So in which case, that's going to be a rallying cry for conservatives in the same way that the Affordable Care Act rallied up the Tea Party in 2007, 2000.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Andrew. It does feel as if, almost in the same way Democrats and liberals just united around, whatever it is that we do, we just got to beat Trump. It does feel like there could be a similar, like an equal reaction to Kamala Harris.